Hello, everyone, and welcome to the October 20th edition of Office Hours. My name is Matt Johnson. I'm on the dev team for Apollo Crypto, which is a unique DAO-driven system to help creators find funding to build their projects, to advance their career, to pay their rent, to do whatever they need to do to make ends meet and to advance their craft. We're very passionate about it. We're all creators in our own right. I think everybody is in their own right, but joined with me here today is Caleb, who is a rightful creator. Any of the beautiful artwork you see on our website, all the media and content, he works directly on that, all the brand work as well. So he is instrumental to everything that's happened here on the Apollo project. And below me, I don't know where you see him on your screen, we got Zach, aka Apollo Ted, today's celebrity judge for the best question. Also runs production and engineering. So all of our wonderful Web3 tech, all the smart contract work, everything that's gone on that front is managed by Ted. So really, you've got two smart guys and one guy that's just kind of here to MC what we're seeing. So
which one is which?
I'll let you.
Which one is which?
Yeah.
We'll leave that up to let the people sort out.
They'll vote.
How are you guys? Everything okay?
Good? Yeah.
Good.
I think we're having some allergies and cold weather hit, but doing good.
Yeah, we're in Texas, and it's a weird kind of climate here. You know, it's scorching hot one day and freezing, snowing, icing the next. So you learn to adapt, or like Zach, you just kind of get knocked over by it and complain. I guess.
Yep.
Whine and complain.
Right.
That's what I get through.
Awesome. All right. Well, let's actually hop into a couple of things. First of all, like I mentioned, we are a community-driven DAO. I think in the coming weeks on another AMA, we had this great lunch discussion, by the way, on our Discord channel on Tuesdays and Thursdays. Usually the three of us, some other people are pretty regular on there. We do just an informal kind of industry chat. How are you feeling about things? We trial balloon some of the content that we're going to present here and just really kind of talk and get feedback. It's kind of one form of we look at as, governance or, feedback or ideas that are generated from the project's people that happen in that voice forum. So if you haven't done that before and you have a chance over, midday Central Time to join us on one of that, it's a lot of fun. It's really casual and some great ideas come in there. But I think we're going to be talking more about governance and kind of some ideas and coming things that we have with snapshots and votes as we get towards the end of the year, really wrapping up one season and looking towards like, what's the direction we want to take next season? I mean, there's some stuff we've learned, some data we'll present. We'll do a big end of the year kind of presentation about everything that we've learned in our first year at Apollo and, probably have some output of that we need people's feedback on. And on a much smaller note, Caleb has put together some great tools within Discord for us to like vote on polls. You probably saw one in there yesterday or the day before, just kind of asking about how many Discords you're in. We're going to start rolling that out heavier to, ask, real questions about what we're doing right and what you guys think and, ideas that we can generate. So always focused on community voice and governance. I think there's some great tools coming on that. But if you're new to it, first step, go to apollocrypto.org, learn about, everything. We got the standard white paper there. I'd say go back and even watch some of these AMAs. Like, we are entertaining guys. And if you ever just are bored or you get done watching House of Dragons and you think I need something better, what can top that? Go back and watch all these AMAs because it will blow you away.
Really funny stuff.
Yeah. Blood and fire. Okay. So yeah, check that site out. And then of course we have currently we're in season 2, contest 3. I think I got that right.
Yep.
Creators that are up there nominated. We ask you this every time. Go vote if you can. We always need more votes. Check out all these profiles. Vote for one of these talented creators. If you're a holder of Apollo, it's not hard. It takes 2 minutes, and that qualifies you for a POAP, which is a proof of attendance NFT that Caleb creates and that you guys can claim shortly thereafter the contest. And that will enter you into a season-ending raffle to win more Apollo, which is great. Everybody wants that. That's awesome. Speaking of more Apollo, I mentioned we have a celebrity judge, Zach, today. Put your questions in. Like, we give you a little heads up. I dropped it in the chats today, but to the best question tonight, the most thought-provoking question. You got to know Apollo Ted, I guess, because he's the one who's picking. Like, what does he care about? What drives this man's magic? Ask that question. Go ahead and post it whenever. We'll get to him at the end, and he will pick the best one, and I'll send you $250 worth of Apollo within the next, what's called 24 hours. Sometimes I can't get to it right away, but I'm pretty good for it. Right? Cool. Yeah, go vote. That's exciting. After this cycle, it'll end Monday. Then we have a day break, and then on Tuesday, around 10 a.m., we will start the final center preliminary. So they all have their shoes right now. I can't wait to see like the next round. It's so exciting and so different when you have everybody that starts on kind of the same canvas, the same playing field, and like see how these guys interpret that task different than the first two cohorts. Will be really fun and exciting. I'm looking forward to that. And then obviously in a few weeks after that, I think the middle of November, and we have some exciting news around that Zach will talk about here in a minute. We'll open up for the finals of the center voting contest. So we will conclude our first truly end-to-end sponsored contest, which is really exciting. The fact that we got that in our first year around here just really speaks to this team's drive towards utility. You know, we're not here messing around, guys. So excited to see that. All right. So I'm going to go first real quick and talk about three categories. I mentioned this in the socials this week, but I kind of want to start, organizing this meeting a little bit different. Of course, sometimes we'll have different stuff to talk about that doesn't fit in the category. But as we started breaking this down in meetings, we thought, there's people want to know about three main things. Awareness. What are we doing for awareness in the project? Where do we stand? The classic win marketing or, whatever statement you want to make to it. Like there are always activities going on here. We just obviously have to pick and choose which ones are most fruitful at this particular time. And we're very much in kind of this testing phase of things. So I'll touch on a couple of things that we're doing right now. On that front, partnerships, Caleb's got an announcement to make as well. We got something exciting coming for actually it'll be not the center contest, but the fourth regular contest preliminary that revolves around partnerships and sponsorships. So, we've done the center one, which is a big multi-contest that's just dedicated to them. But we talked about wanting to do different types of sponsorships for contests along the way. So he's got some news on that. And then Zach will round us out with the platform. What are we doing in terms of scaling and developing new mechanics, new features, things that are going to grow the utility that will, make it better for our holders and our creators to participate in what we do. So that's the agenda for tonight. And then we'll round out with some questions and, feel free to post them anytime in the chat. So yeah, awareness, I'll just jump right in. We've engaged and have been engaged for quite some time this year now with kind of a content marketing and strategy team is the best way I'd put it. And a lot of like the blog posts that you see, a lot of the posts that come on to the social media channels and things like that, that's their team kind of creating what we call this flywheel of evergreen content that just keeps moving through the system to, stimulate different users of different backgrounds and different interests and different demographics about what we're doing. Sometimes it might be about creators. Sometimes it might be like, do you want to get involved early in a great project that has, utility and a proven track record of devs? We've just been testing dozens of messages that continue to move through this flywheel all the time. I've actually went out and have looked to engage a couple of groups and asked them before we engage on the promotion and marketing front, hey, can you give us just a fair assessment of, our token next to others and, how it looks in terms of its professionalism, its marketing, its content and things like that. And we got just incredibly high marks saying, you guys are actually building, material, you're building content, you're building, a repository of things that people could access and learn about. And we don't see that from a lot of people. It's usually they slap a white paper up, they call it done. Marketing becomes like a shilling mechanism. And not to say there's not a place for that, because as we built all that content, I feel like right now is a good time for us to move into that stage where we engage a couple of these groups to drive more traffic that is already in crypto. So as everyone knows, one of our big challenges has been, how hard is it for someone to get into an exchange, move stuff off or move ETH off the exchange to get into a DeFi wallet and then swapping that wallet for Apollo. Like we are constantly working on like how to reduce friction on that process and have some ideas for that we'll save for another discussion for season 3. But I think bringing people that are already familiar with crypto that might have, the wrong impression of us or might not really know the depth of our utility. I've talked to a handful of people in our socials that are just like, yeah, I'm glad you kept badgering me, because once I really actually took a look and went into the product, it's like there's depth here. There's something meaningful here that I want to attach to, for the long term, because we see the vision, we see the growth that potential can happen here. So on that front, I'm talking about things like, well, who are great partnerships we can do on, getting on whether advertising or trending type stuff on CoinGecko, CoinMarketCap, Dex tools, aligning that with, some publications or some micro influencers. I know some people feel one way or another about influencers, and certainly they have their role. I don't think influencers define our project and what we're doing. We're definitely not something that's meant to just create hype. You can see everything that we're working on here, but we don't want to deny the role in the community voice and saying, you need to look at a diverse set of solutions to absorb that content that you've created. So what we've decided to do between now and, the beginning of next year is really do 3 or 4 different kind of tests or initiatives. In the marketing world, you have A/B tests. You'll test one message versus another to a similar cohort and see which one performs better. And what we hope to do is when, crypto winter or whatever you want to call it turns the corner, or, movement comes back into the market, we're prepared. We're not just kind of like, oh my gosh, what do we do now? Because we've been on ice. We already know this strategy tends to work well, better than this one other, and we can start to push harder on those strategies working, whether it's the traditional marketing and media side, or whether it's some of these other crypto-centric type messaging. Now, please, that does not mean send me 1,000 messages on Discord for your shilling service. We already received 1,000 of those, and we respond to them as quickly as we can. Thanks for your patience. But this is more about some end-to-end solutions of people that have bigger businesses and have been doing marketing for some time, that can kind of understand what we've already built and how to marry it with some of these crypto-centric strategies. So, we're probably not going to like toot the horn a lot about them. Like I said, they're small tests, but you'll probably notice things from time to time, like, ooh, some traffic's coming in here. Or, we ask for the army to be on point to answer questions for people, because we might be bringing more people onto Twitter or more people onto Discord or something like that. We'll give a heads up on that front, but just to make you aware that like that's where our marketing focus is kind of shifting right now. So you might not see 5 blog posts a month. You might see 2 or 1. But you might see some other tactics that are working now. So kind of on that note, awareness also flies into partnerships. Center has been a big energy boost for me this season. It's just kind of cool to see something new and different and to see a brand care about what we're doing. But there's also all these kind of interesting, I've always talked about, like, there's no need for this tribal kind of fighting between, different crypto projects, especially when they complement each other. I like the idea of like, where can we partner to amplify each other? And with that, I'll kind of turn it over to Caleb, who's going to talk about partnerships and how we're tracking on that front.
Yeah, partnerships are really somebody. Oh, okay. I got to echo for a moment. Partnerships really help grow our awareness and our brand understanding and visibility with other people out in the world. So, and partnerships, we see them as a way to get into mass groups of people in one good go, rather than having to pick up individuals one at a time through Twitter or Instagram or other ways. But if we connect with other DAOs or crypto projects or NFT projects or non-crypto projects too, art studios or collectives and schools or businesses like Center, then we have that ability to tap into their full network and community, and they have that ability with us as well. And so we're going to continue to do what we can to build new relationships and partnerships with other like-minded communities. I mean, we're not open to just anything though. You know, we want to be picky. Like we want to be working with like-minded partners that have similar values and and that are trustworthy as well. Like we don't want to get partnered up with somebody who we feel uneasy with. And like, hey, is this a good project? Is this a bad project? Because there's a lot out there in crypto, as we all know, that is good and that's bad. And so we have to protect ourselves at the same time as far as the Apollo brand goes. But yeah, partnerships is going to be key to our success in
Mm-hmm.
this. We're not enemies, like Matt said. We're all mostly all working together for similar purposes. So one example of course we have Center, and they are a partner and ran an entire contest series. One new partnership that we do have that you'll see in the next creator contest starting on November 1st is a connection collab with a group called the Regulars NFT. And it's a project that's been around for over a year now. They've seen a lot of good growth. They have very great artwork, in my opinion. Maybe it may not be for everyone, but I have, I see like the great value that they have in their community and in their NFT artwork. It's called the Regulars because it's about the everyday person, and they have a very, as you see, Botero-esque style. If you look up Botero, you'll see that he has this style of like kind of these ballooned up people. But so we're partnering with them. They are sponsoring contest number 4. And the way that we'll have a number of initiatives going on during that contest. We'll have sponsorship banners on the contest showing off the Regulars. We're planning on a collab Twitter space with the Regulars so that we can hear more about their project. They have a lot more going on besides just the JPEGs. They have some interesting aspects of the regular world with jobs and homes and making money, play money. So there's some pretty cool stuff in that ecosystem. We're also going to be giving away regular NFTs to the prize winners. So that's something new, going beyond our prize wallet of just Apollo tokens. So that this is going to be one way that we can make more strong partnerships and also grow our membership base with some cross-pollinating and get more of the Apollo name out to other groups.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think you touched on the idea of like the AMA, and that's both ways. By the way, we're going to be talking to their creators and their members of thousands of NFT enthusiasts and that are part of their project as well to make them aware of that. But I love that this is creative. This is an art form in itself. Yep. I mean, this is going to draw people to participate with their craft, and it leans into what I was talking about in the awareness part about. These are people that are already into crypto. They're already into NFTs. They already have wallets. They're already excited and looking for stuff that is speaking to their craft. So that's what Caleb's talking about when it's just like this cross partnership that just makes sense and that augments both parties. So excited to kind of, like you said, Caleb, get some data on, the site, like as people are visiting it and they're voting and they're seeing the ads and all that kind of stuff. Like that's just one more segment when we talk about this complete sponsorship offering that we want to take to the market in 2023, which goes from the low end. It might be just this. It's just, a collaboration on AMA on one contest and a banner ad and, something as simple as that for, a certain contribution to the DAO all the way down to like what Center did with their own concurrent contest running that that they make the rules for and do anything like that on both spectrum. But there's probably 2 or 3 other sponsorship levels in between that we're going to be fleshing out. That we can now take a story and the data between center and this and say, hey, we're just getting started. But look, like this has been done. We've treaded this ground. You don't have to go first now. And this is the benefit that I could have to you in that audience, and it helps us grow. It's just more eyeballs, it's more awareness that happens there. So.
It's also a good reason why we need more active participation in our contest. Like voting matters, creators matter. That shows other communities that there is value and that there are people behind the sponsorship, that their sponsorship has value. And it overall, like if you're just into the token, that's cool, but voting helps your token grow.
Yep. Yeah, and that's a good segue right there for sure. If you didn't have anything else on partnerships, I'll hand the baton. But I did want to say, also, with getting creators into the contest, whether it's grants, whether it's some form of, I think I've mentioned on here before, like another opportunity to have an NFT that represents, a creator's access or entry or some kind of agreement between the two parties so they can take their best creators and fill the pipeline or the queue with people from these communities. It seems like that's a really low-hanging fruit for us to go and find, 7 to 10 other projects like the regulars that can really identify the great talent that should participate in the Apollo contest and make it easy for them to get into it in some way. And then I loved kind of this other part of it, like the NFT portion that Caleb was talking about, add something kind of special and unique to that sponsorship. So excited to get that thing off the ground and, participate in that AMA. We'll let you know when we get the details sealed up on when the Twitter space is going to be. So would love to have a great showing for our community. That would really help as well. But yes, voting. I get it. There's a lot of challenge with voting. There's a lot of friction. We've been talking about it since literally January 13th. The day after we launched the token this year. But I want to pass it to Zach now. I know that's kind of the challenge. We talked about concurrent contests for a while. That tech is kind of in process in parallel. We kind of said, well, is that most important, or what do we want to make with our big splash that also ties back to awareness on our technology platform before the end of the year? We're not the kind of group that waits for, we could do that next season. Let's try it out, right? Let's go for it. What do you got for us, Zach?
Yeah, and I just wanted to add to the regulars NFT. They're pretty sweet. If you go take a look at them, they each have like your avatar can have a job that you meant, and it's the company names are kind of funny. They have like spin-offs of normal companies, but so on the production side, you guys have kind of already set the table for everything. Of course, and we're still working on kind of the base layer to be ready for concurrent contests, but now this idea of sponsored regular contests has come up. So now we're going to add the ability to the platform to kind of add a theme for the contest. So ideally for the regulars contest, now you'll go to it, you'll see the some regulars branding, a link to their site, things like that. And then the big thing that we've talked about is being able to vote for free, I guess. And so we have kind of 2 avenues we're going to expand voting. One Matt just talked about is with voting with an NFT. So that's kind of, broadening horizons to the current cryptoverse or crypto community. But part of that is we want to also have our creators get access to the people who aren't into crypto yet. Maybe we can kind of lead their way in. So what we're going to do is we're going to use a product from Twilio so that we can take in emails and those votes that you give with an email. So say, I come to the site, never heard of crypto, but I still want to vote because I like Caleb and I want to vote for Caleb. So, I click to vote and it'll say, oh, you're not connected to wallet. Do you go ahead and have Apollo so you can get a full vote cast? Sure. We'll take you through connecting your wallet and voting. But if you don't, and you just want to give us an email, sure, then we can let you cast a partial vote. And that way you can kind of join into the community, and we're kind of leading your hand. Like maybe you're not totally ready to sign up for exchange, create a wallet, buy Apollo, but maybe we can kind of lead you into just like your first crypto community and get your toe in the water. And then once we kind of get you into our ecosystem, the idea is that we can kind of lead you further along in the process, and then you're become a full-fledged Apollo holder, Apollo Army holder. So that's a big thing right now. Caleb actually handed over the UX earlier today. We were chatting back and forth, ironing out a few pieces. But again, the idea is that we want to be able to take your email, and then we want to be able to show you a short video giving you an introduction to how Apollo works, and giving you extra instructions in case you want to go ahead and go to the next level and make a wallet and vote.
Yeah, and that's great, Zach. Yeah, really excited to see that work. So a couple of just points I want to bring out about that. Number one, the community's been talking about the idea of like, how do we implement this? It's obviously tricky, and the need for the email helps us on a couple of fronts. One, so we just don't have a bunch of emails being rolled up to be able to game the votes. This way, they have to at least validate through the email address. Is it a perfect system? Is what we're doing now a perfect system? No, it has to evolve. But we want to put as many checks and balances in to keep the fairness of the vote as possible. But probably one thing we hear from creators is just like, I have this great network. I have all these people that want to vote. It's hard to figure out how to get them into crypto. And while yes, those kind of frameworks are put in place because it's important to the tokenomics, it's important to the growth of the ecosystem itself. Like, are we shooting ourselves in the foot by not going wider to bring people awareness and then letting them self-select down into become, it's kind of the idea of the carrot, right? There's something else that's waiting for you. You can't participate in POAPs with a free vote. It only counts 1/10 of a normal vote for your creator that you're selecting. So there'll be an opportunity for them when, like Zach says, they watch this video, it teaches them about the ecosystem. So, all right, give us your email, you give us, watch this video about that, cast your free vote. We hope to get you into a full vote by purchasing at least the minimum amount of Apollo to be able to help your creator even more, or, participate in the raffles and the POAPs and other stuff that we have coming down the pipe. So it's more of like widening the funnel, I guess is a good way to put it. Like, we want to open up the top end so more and more people can be aware and have visibility, and get the audiences that these creators have worked really hard to establish more comfortable with participating before they go head deep into crypto. So it's learning. Like I said at the beginning of this journey, we're always going to be learning. We're always going to be listening. And this is one of the things that the community brought forward. I mean, this is another thing of governance, like I'm talking about. It happens in many different ways. Is, the people speak, the devs listen, we determine what's practical, and we try to follow through with that. So I'm super excited. And the exciting announcement is, like, I don't want to give any dates, but I really feel confident that we're going to be able to roll this out for a contest this year. So we only have 3 or so left, right? 3 or 4 left. And well, actually, I think 3 left. We got one more final center.
4,
right? No, we got
center
center
number 3. Yeah.
So
Finale.
Zach is really pushing the team to say, let's get this implemented, and we'll have more information finalizing which contest it will be next week. But having a free vote system, I think, is going to give us the data that we need to complete that picture for our sponsorship model, to be able to take it out there and say, you know what, we didn't get, it's just 100 votes or whatever that we get in a thing. Like, we got 10,000 impressions. We got these types of engagements. We have all these analytics now of people passing around these links for creators to be able to participate. X number of people watch the video. And by the way, that doesn't have to necessarily be the Apollo video when we're running a sponsored contest. That could be an advertisement for that creator, right? Start to think about how the traditional revenue model, like, some Hinnock and some of the guys we partnered with have talked about, this is the manifestation of that. Like, these are the steps that are being taken. So I'm super excited about it. I think that's big news. I think that will do more for us in terms of awareness by removing friction and giving these creators just free reign to go out there and go bonkers with marketing themselves. So I think it's a huge step. And if that's what rounds out, our first year or season 3, I'll be super stoked and super excited. So anything else you guys want to add to that news? I feel like I should have some poppers or some fireworks, or
We'll do that whenever it launches.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. I know everybody's just like, oh, you want us to get this done? How quick? All right, let's go. Zach's excited. Look at him. All right, Zach. Well, I tell you what, I'm going to let you pick all the questions tonight, and then end with the one that you want to award the $250 worth of Apollo with. So sorry, Caleb. Zach gets all the power, all the control, because
You're saying that he has to look at them all now and sort them in his head.
Yeah.
And make the
But
decision.
he's an engineer. That should not be that difficult.
Okay.
So I'm just going to sit back and enjoy a frosty beverage while he does that.
No pressure.
So Kyrie posed, it's a pretty general question. What advantages does Apollo have over other coins? And then how can we use those to our advantage? I would say, I guess the most obvious answer is that, we are very open to taking in questions like this. We're here doing these every other week. Every week we're on Discord doing community hangouts over lunch. So I would say that the number one thing there is how open we are to answering questions. I guess I could go down the list. Number two is that we put out like a viable product. We have a product that's working. You can see what everything is doing. We're very transparent about what the product does and what it provides to contestants, to voters, and things like that. How can you use those to our advantage? I think that stacks up well to a lot of other projects. I know it's kind of tough, especially right now, to mention to people that you're into crypto. A lot of times you'll catch some laughs because you bought into some coin that, I don't know, is the poop coin or something like that. But then you can point to our project and that like this project is actually doing great things and is actually supporting people. So I don't know if you guys have anything to add there.
Yeah, I'll throw in the tokenomics are they're generous and conservative, meaning that so our tokenomics on every transaction, 6% of that transaction is split up. So 3% reflected back to the community. So anyone that already holds tokens gains more. 2% is burned, goes away forever. And so it's a deflationary token. And 1% is allocated towards the DAO treasury, which is how we pay creators in the contest. I've been in a lot of tokens that have that type of tokenomic structure and mechanic set up in it, as well as some that don't. And a lot of them that I see that try to implement some sort of tokenomics into it, the taxes are really kind of ridiculous. They'll be taking out 10% for the DAO, or the total tax might be 20% on sell or 20% on buy. This is a real one, 20% on buy and 30% on sell. So it's just like ridiculously set up for people to get in and get trapped and not be able to get out. This really is a good setup for tokenomics. Generous, but not too generous for any single person or the DAO.
That's great. Yeah, I'll just add one thing to what Caleb said there. I mean, I hate that word trap, and I have seen it in other tokens. I mean, we're kind of the antithesis of this, I think, because we're encouraging our creators to use this money to advance their career. If they choose to hold on to that's great, but that's not what this project and DAO was built around. Sometimes people have a hard time wrapping their head around, well, how is that helpful to the overall value of the project? And I said, well, at the end of the day, the value is going to be when people separate the trash from the real projects and understand that, I'm not investing in this kind of stuff anymore because, these fly-by-night tokens aren't flying anymore. They're not doing anything anymore. So that time will come. I've been in, 5 nascent technology markets in my career, and that consolidation has happened on some level in every single one of them. So I don't think this is special or different by any means. And I think that the good projects where people work hard through the hard times and do the right things and are moral about their project are the ones that are gonna endure. So well answered, gentlemen.
Can I say that we've already burned almost 10% of our supply?
That's
Total
no
supply
joke.
that's ever going to be circulating.
It's pretty good.
For sure. Okay, let's see. Corey asked something, so I'm wondering if we can incentivize people to vote by burning X amount of tokens per vote. I don't want to speak too much on this. I've kind of seen other, there's tokens that have had like a burn party or things like that, just like an event of, something happens, so we'll burn off some tokens, and there's no direct result from that. I guess there could be some excitement there, but first off, we'd had to figure out where the burning is coming from, and I don't know that we'd want to, deteriorate the DAO or anything like that. I guess down the road, this could be something we vote on, but this is never something I've really felt almost kind of gimmicky, maybe a little bit.
Yeah, that's interesting. I think part of what Caleb just talked about is the reason we did the transactional 2%, and that's buy, sell, and transfer. Like anytime that 2% gets removed from supply, the reason we did that is because we wanted it to be an active mechanism, and usually, given times excluded in the current economic environment, volumes are higher and lots of burn is happening, and that's part of what has led to the 10% that we're talking about right now. But I think it's an interesting, back to the governance again, kind of idea to put forward to say, is there something that we could do at the end of every contest or at the end of every cycle when that method runs to pay out? It says, okay, and this is part of the strategies and the roadmap that we have in terms of, helping people that vote and the creators they vote for. We want to start to segment that out to, X percent goes to holders that voted that, are consistently doing that, or maybe staked in some sort of way. The percentage goes out to first, second, third if we retain that structure moving into the next year's contest. And then maybe it's like, the community decides that, we'd rather reduce the payouts a little bit and have more burn that happens at the end of each cycle. Then we do that. That's kind of the beauty of having a DAO that can be updated.
I'd also just throw in that we do have some benefits towards more voters as far as like the bonus goes, but also at the end of the contest, tokens are burned when the prize is sent. So there is, I just don't know how to.
Very small, yeah.
Yeah, I'd have to look back to calculate it, see what happened, but we are actually burning for each contest.
Yeah.
But I get what Corey's asking. He's asking more like, how can we like do something based on voter numbers and that sort of thing?
That's a good idea. We might even look into like a burn bot or something like that, because I know that it's really popular to see, the votes and the buys and things like that. It'd be kind of cool to say, like, twice a day within the Discord or something, it comes up and says, here's how much delta that we've burned, so people can kind of get excited about that metric as well. So yeah, it's a good thought, Corey.
Sure. Okay, let's see.
2 more.
Okay. Well, I didn't know the number. All right, I clicked. Hope this is a good one. So Ryan asked, do we still plan on adding NFTs to the project in the future? We did kind of talk about this, but just kind of reiterate. First, we already issue POAPs. So if you go vote, you are eligible to go claim a POAP. There's one for every contest, and it adds, special rewards in Discord too. You can rank up depending on how many POAPs you own. Number 2, we have the partnership that we announced with an NFT, the regulars. And then number 3, we've also discussed issuing NFTs for voting as opposed to Apollo holdings. You could, hold an NFT to vote. Since a lot of the crypto community is a big fan of NFTs.
Yeah, and that's really squarely in the category of voter rewards. I haven't even brought it up with you guys yet, but there's a conversation that's been happening on the other side of the business. Has been, can we engage voters in some way to produce content for an NFT that would be given away in some way as a prize at the end of each voting cycle? So I want to talk through that and brainstorm with you guys a little bit on that. But yeah, I mean, NFTs, whether it's a voting proxy that we sell on OpenSea that makes it easier for people to just use ETH, and that ETH gets used for project expenses and stuff like that. Or we buy Apollo and burn it, figuring out how we want to, handle that kind of sell. So it's access, it's, voter rewards like we already have right now with the POAPs, and it's maybe additional content that could be won by voters, or some kind of fractional share or something like that could be done for the people who voted for the winning. I don't know, like there's something cool in there, because converting the creator's artwork into something within the Web3 space, it seems like a logical extension for us. So it's going to happen. It's just when we're able to hit it on the roadmap for sure. All right.
And then last one.
You gonna pick the winner here?
Kyrie has a great question.
Kyrie.
Last question. As a creator and past winner, what can I do to help the token grow? That is a great question, and it's really one.
Write a song about it.
Write a song
yeah,
about it.
we know you got talent, Kyrie. So yeah, I want to see it. And we still have our basketball game. Don't forget about that either.
That does not help the token though. To help the token,
it could. I mean, if you put a video NFT video of me schooling
that
Kyrie,
might hurt us. If they watch you play basketball
and basketball, like
but
that could go
dunks
viral.
on you?
No, maybe he could. I've seen him dunk. He can dunk.
I
cannot.
Crypto gets dunked on by token holder. I don't know if that's good or bad.
Anyway, okay, let's answer the man's question here.
Yes, but first of all, any involvement, the easiest way is just stay in Discord, stay on Telegram. The big thing I think right now is if you have any creators that, tell them about Apollo, tell them what it did for you, and they want to get on action and they want to compete in contests, get them at least into the Telegram and Discord. And if they need help, there's plenty of everyone in here. You can help them. We can all help them get applied into the contest. I would say that's the biggest one.
Yeah, I would say, you're a creator. Find one creator friend and get them into the contest. I would say do 3 and then have each one of those persons do 3 and one of those persons do 3. But I think we know what that sounds like. Pay their way maybe if you have to. Like, donate the Apollo tokens to them. Be like, hey, I want to help you get onboarded and get you involved in the contest. Here's the 4 million tokens you need or whatnot.
Yeah, pay it forward is a great concept. I love that just because I like giving and doing good. But that I know that happens and that's great. And as long as it adheres to the rules of voting in the DAO, like there's no issue with that. That's good for everybody in the project, right? Yeah, and I would add, like, lean into finding, like we talked about at the beginning of this cast, like creators that are already have an affinity for technology or that are in this. Like, what are the low-hanging fruits so we can get the queue up in the numbers? Like, who do you know that are digital content creators that already are into crypto? That's the intersection. That's the sweet spot. I mean, I think in the near term that helps us. And then as, crypto tools and platforms grow and are easier to access, then it helps us kind of spread the word into more of the traditional space and grow and scale that portion of it as well. So, all right. Congratulations, Kyrie. I see. Can you put up his stats from last night's game, Zach, please?
Is that your selection, Zach?
That was his winner, right? That was the last one.
That was my last one, but I also...
Well, I called that one the winner. It's the last one, so we have to.
That's fine. I think I was probably going to make the winner anyways. And for your reward along with the Apollo.
Ironically, in my game, my league game the other night, I had 32 points and 18 rebounds. So I mean that's good, Kyrie, but it's not 32-18. So you're getting there, buddy. It's going to happen. It's going to happen for you. So we or maybe got to play a game of horse. Zach and I have another friend who's an ex-NFL star that was talking smack to me the other night on text about schooling me in basketball as well. So apparently that's what people like to do is pick on an almost 50-year-old man, when they're, either primo athletes or, in Kyrie's case, obviously a badass at the rate that he's scoring in league. Cool. Well, congratulations, Kyrie. If you will DM me your public wallet address, either on the Discords or the Telegrams, I will get
or
that
submit
paid.
A ticket.
24 or submit a support ticket. Don't do that. I like it'll get lost, right?
Or no. We don't lose any sport tickets.
Just DM me, Kyrie. This is one of our alumni. We're not going to worry about that. It's all good. Congratulations, man. All right, gentlemen, anything else you want to add? Again, Scott, exciting news, free votes, like it's coming. We'll announce some dates in which contests next week, but the team are hard at work on that right now.
Yeah, 4 more days to vote.
4 days. Please make it happen. We need the numbers. We need the data. All right. With that, let's call it a night. Appreciate everyone here. Thanks for the questions. Congratulations again, Kyrie. Look forward. We don't have the AMA next week, but we might have a surprise one, just depending on what we decide on the voting thing and talking about that maybe a little more granular in its effect, because there's obviously strategies that we've gone through about how the flows and everything of this will work. And I want to make sure everyone's kind of aware and prepared. So creators, especially that are involved in those contests, can kind of have some lead time to go and tell their communities to get ready, because they're going to need this support. So with that, I appreciate everything everyone in this community does for us. You keep us motivated, you keep us excited, and we're thankful for that. And I hope everybody has a great end to their week. Appreciate you, and we'll talk to you soon.